Who knows? I've been buzzing with ideas lately, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, recently, if anything, this might come out to be an idea sooner or later, or this idea might actually become a reality. But moving on from that, I've got a lot of Peter Parkers and Spectacular Spider-Man. Like I said right off the back, I loved Spectacular Spider-Man around this time because was it Ramos really knew how to draw Spider-Man and all everybody in it, and that's why I kind of stuck with the comic for a while because I loved the artistry in it, and it was really great. And then there were a few others. I think what here's my Ramos went over to Peter Parker. I think the reason why I went over to different comics because of the artistry. Because back then, when I was learning to draw and everything, I loved the artistry. I was trying to learn to get my own style and everything, and was just trying to hold unique. And I was really fascinated with the artistry, especially this one. This is by far one of my favorite Peter Parker story arcs in the comic because him and Norman just literally for like a few issues really go at it, and that's what really drove me to this because this was a great comic. You know, because you right off the back you didn't know whether Peter or Norman were going to survive, which one was going to walk away, and this was really great because they were almost at each other's throats, almost to finally just kill one another. Spider-Man was Mary Jane. Why did I pick this up again? I don't know. I've only got a few of these, I think. And let me see here. Then I've got a few others that are just minuscule. I got a couple of Spider-Man Unlimited, Ultimate Spider-Man. I think the Ultimate series weren't so bad. Spider-Girl. Yeah, we all know that's how this turned out. I only think I got them because of a certain couple of covers and stuff, and I'm trying to think what else I got here. I've got, like I said, I've got like a ton of minuscule ones. This one, he lives, he prowls, Spider-Man. It's sort of like an alternate universe where Spider-Man is like a more alien-like spider. He was once human, but then he fully converted into like a man spider. And then Doc Ock really has tentacles. It was pretty funny. So that's, right off the bat, that's it with the Spider-Man. But if we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, we might as well be talking about one of his villains. And by far, one of my favorite villains is Venom, and we'll get to his comics next. Okay, this is by far one of the first Venom comics I ever owned, and I love this comic, and it's really great. Almost I think, is it almost bubbly? Yeah, I think so. Like I said, it has that reflective light, covering that goes off, and I really miss that. I think they used to do that a lot with a lot of the Venom comics, or when Venom was in Spider-Man. I don't know why. But this was the very first. And here's the funny story on this one. This was actually given to me by a friend at a summer camp. On the way to camp, we would be so bored that most of the time we just do stuff in the bus to hang out. And he was reading the book, and I was like, hey, what are you reading? It's like, oh, a Venom comic. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't know Venom had a comic. When did they give that? It's like, yeah, right. I was like, dude, didn't you know about Maximum Carnage? Yeah, I knew he was on his side, but wow, I've never seen it. And he's like, wow, you want to read it? I said, yeah, sure. And I'm reading it, I'm really getting into the story and stuff and everything. And the thing is, he's like, so I give it back to him. So, like, what'd you think? Oh, dude, I loved it. It's great. I wish I had it. And he's like, oh, here, take it. And I was like, what? I was like, are you serious? I'm like, dude, I mean, look at this. And, like, you're giving me this book? He's like, yeah, take it. He's like, it's yours. You love it so much, take it. And I'm like, dude, what do I owe? He's like, no, take it for free. I'm like, oh, man, thanks. Because I spent the whole day at camp reading this book over and over again. And this is why I love Venom as a character. Despite the fact that, people think he's psychotic, he's sick, he's twisted, that's Carnage for most people. I just love Venom as a character. I mean, I miss old Eddie Brock and Venom, not the now with Mac Gorgon and Venom or the anti-Venom, which makes me kind of question, like, what's been up with anti-Venom lately? Here's one of the oldest ones I think I have. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if Enemy Within or The Madness is. But, any questions are, like, who would win in a fight, Juggernaut or Venom. And then we got The Enemy Within, and then here's a pretty good one. The Funeral Parlor, where he teams up. Like I said, they did a lot of these reflective cover ones, I think, on the Venom series, which was really cool. I liked it. And, yeah, this is one he teams up with the Punisher. And luckily enough for me, I've got most of the whole book in here. Like I said, bad idea to triple or box cover. Then I got the Mace. This was a pretty good storyline. Mace was a pretty cool character. I don't know what happened. And then The Sinner Takes All, where I think the Sinner was one of Venom's truly worst, and I wouldn't say worst enemies, but one of the ones that just stuck around. Like, pretty much one of his all-time enemies. And so much of the fact that, it just kept going and going on to different characters. And so, let's see here. Yeah. Along Came the Spider, where it can kind of continued off the Sin Eater saga. Here's one. Actually, I forgot. This is also part one of Enemy Within. Now, this cover is a little different, because this is a solid black cover, but the white lining and, I don't know if you can tell, it's, the white part and the tongue and everything are all, graded. It's kind of got a hardcover texture to it. Now, I wish I had kept this covered, but here's a little trick. Here's the cool thing about this. Let me see if I can do it. Here's the cool thing about it. This cover is actually glows in the dark. Now, of course, you gotta put it up towards a light surface. Let me see here. Cue in the... Now, you can tell I'm already in a darker spot, and it's already starting to glow, but let's see if we can make this a little better. Yeah, look at that. How awesome is that? Imagine waking up to that every night. That is awesome right there. That's why I love most of the Venom comics, because they really did some cool stuff with the cover. Because look at that. That's just like... That's just awesome. Alright, so like I said, yeah, that's cool. And here's one of the... I didn't collect the rest of the Lethal Protector, but when I found out they made a graphic novel part of it, like a hardcover edition, I like this. And you can see it's pretty worn and torn, because I took this book with me everywhere I went. If I went on a trip, I took this book. Heck, if I was just driving the car, I took this book. That's how worn. I took this book with me hundreds of times to school. Now, here's a part of a series. This is a kind of a dark and twisted part to Venom. The Hunger. This is where we find out the symbiote kind of needs a certain substance to survive, and then basically all the times that Venom would say, "I'm going to eat your brains." Well, literally, he started eating people's brains, and that's where it got pretty bad. It got pretty bad for poor Eddie. Then there became the Hunted, where I guess somehow off the back that the Venom symbiote was being hunted, because apparently there is actually a creature that actually eats symbiotes. So, here's a nice one. Venom versus Wolverine. And believe me, this will not be the last time we see these two together. Pretty much, this was a pretty twisted part. Somehow Venom and Logan got mixed up, where somehow after the aftermath of the Hunted, they got sucked into an alternate universe, and somehow Logan got possessed by some rat Frank creature, and it's just pretty awesome. Here's a little different. This is a little different than most Venom comics, because this one is Venom, Seed of Darkness. Actually, it doesn't even really have Venom in it, but surprisingly, it's got Eddie in it, starting out the way he did back then in the early years of his reporter career. And I guess, if anything, this glob here was supposed to be something similar to a Venom symbiote and stuff, and I guess, it's kind of a weird thing, but it's pretty nice. I guess they were doing... Now, here's something interesting. Somehow they put Venom on trial, and I guess they were going to put him on trial for all the things he had done in his past, despite the fact that, even though he was a good guy, he did kill a lot of people trying to get the Spider-Man. Now, here's where it got kind of messed up. They decided to give Venom a license to kill. Of course, he never needed one. Yeah, apparently after the trial, the U.S. government decided to recruit Venom into the government as a secret spy, and Yeah, we all see how well that turned out. So much to the point where he messed up dealing. It didn't really last that long because he had like maybe 2 or 3 missions and he kept botching them up. And even though technically sometimes it just didn't work out and everything. So much to the point where I guess they decided to end the Venom symbiote with Venom the Final. Where I guess Venom just decides, you know what, screw you. I've tried to do everything nice. I've tried to be the good guy and it didn't really work out. So I guess after some time after the series ended, they decided to bring back Venom after the whole thing, well, mostly just the symbiote. And, I guess they decided to try to find out that the symbiote is needed to reproduce, and it's a little hard to follow this one. Wait a second. Wade? Oh, no wonder this series didn't do that good. Christ, I just realized this. Wade was... Oh, man, no wonder this series didn't do any good. I mean, Christ, Wade did a couple of the books, man. Almost to the point, yeah, like I said, Wade here, Wade there, the partnership and everything. It just went downhill, man. Wade. Ah, no wonder the series went down. Oh, man. Well, that's it on my Venom thing. I've got a few graphic novels. I've got the Carnage one, which is like pretty much the first few editions of Carnage in the Spider-Man series, and then Venom Returns, which is great. And then, this is a Wizard comic. I don't even know why I put this in here. I think I kept this in here because I like the cover. But then you got this one here, Venom, Spider-Man versus Venom, which was the first, a few editions, actually, what was it? Yeah, this was the one. This was the first appearance of Venom, almost. What was it? Yeah, Spider-Man, see if I can read it here. Yeah, Spider-Man 300, May 1988. And this is pretty much where it got good. This is where everything got bad, and you can see, this is the old style, and this is actually done by Todd, I think. Almost to the point. Man, he really kicks the crap out of Black Cat. Well, here's all my graphic novels. As you can see, I've got a couple of them, like X-Men Evolution. They made a couple of these. These were pretty good. I actually like the X-Men Evolution series. I'm glad they were able to finish it off. Unlike another X-Men series that only got one season due to the fact that, not that many people saw it because of cable, depending on your provider. There was a Clerks one, pretty funny. Yeah, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Now, I actually say, I think I like the books better than the actual movie. The movie did pretty good since I never read them. But then I read the books and I said, these were better. Here's a good one. Frank Miller's Sin City. This is the only one I have. And this is, of course, with our good old friend here. We all remember him from the series. Mickey Rourke. Got the Creech. Was a little hard to explain. The story is very weak. Because it really doesn't explain anything and nothing really gets involved. Here's an interesting one. Superman. Remember Superman? Superman transformed. Yeah, remember the one where I guess somehow after Apocalypse tried to take over the Earth like for the billionth time and he blocked out the sun almost to the point where Superman really completely lost all his powers, and then after they won and got the sun back, Superman powers never really returned. So he tried to get his powers back by somehow working with the how do I put this? Sitting so close to the sun that it would like really recharge his powers. Almost, but there was a backfire that somehow that being that close, being a Kryptonian and that close to the sun, he became like overpowered, and he became like the blue Superman, and yeah, it was pretty stupid. Yeah, hey, look, I'm Superman and I'm a Smurf.